All right, so I got another one of these Mcfarlane DC Direct Page Puncher figures, and this is Black Adam, which makes sense because the comic is called Black Adam. So you might wonder why I waited so long to get this one. Well, it's just the luck of the draw, man. I needed that classic Superman, and I needed a figure of uh, John Constantine. And I wasn't even sure if I was going to get this Black Adam figure at first, because I'm like, well, they're going to have movie figures coming out later. And honestly, the movie costume looks more like the comic book than this one does. I mean, maybe it's some New 52 thing. I don't know. I don't really follow the New 52. But yeah, I finally went ahead and got him. I saw a lot of videos online talking about him, and I just thought the figure seemed really cool, so I wanted to have it. And you can see I got this one from Amazon warehouse deals, so I was able to get him for fairly cheap as far as these sort of things go. In fact, you can't even see the figure really well because the stickers over him, but you can see why this was an Amazon warehouse deal because the package was torn. But of course, I don't care about that, so I'm just going to open it anyway, right? So we'll go ahead and take a look at the back. It's the same as the other two Page Punchers figures I've already talked about, only it's got a picture of Black Adam on there instead of Superman or John Constantine. I do think the packaging for these is like at least a little bit better than the DC Multiverse packaging, which I think is kind of dull. This is still dull, but it's it's a little bit better than that one. I think it's just the red makes it pop a little bit more. I think it's honestly entirely the coloring. But you can see how like it's labeled in a funny way again, where it says Black Adam comic. So, which does exactly what it says on the tin, but it's still like a funny way to phrase it. So I'll go ahead and set that over there. And now we can finally get a good look at the figure. He's pretty cool. And then back here we have the standard action figure stand, which I wish he had a flight stand since he's a flying character. But I'm always happy to see any kind of action figure stand, so just be happy with it. I do think the backs of the multiverse figures are a little better because they have like comic book covers and stuff on there, even if you can't really see them very well because they're all printed in blue and I think kind of negative images of them. And this just says like DC Direct all over the back. But really, you've got this comic book taking up most of the background anyway, so it's not like it's not like you're going to see that much of it, so I can kind of forgive it. And then we have the trading card, which is in this plastic bag. It's all sealed up. Honestly, I wouldn't even bother to open it, except for the fact that like the printing is all over the back here, and I want to read this trading card. So, go ahead and get this out. Come on. Black Adam, real name Teth Adam. And you can see the, for all my talk about like I'd rather have artwork on the trading cards than just a picture of the action figure I already have. Like make it different artwork. Don't just have the same picture on every trading card. Don't you know how trading cards work? You put these in a page in an album or something, and they're just all going to be four of the same trading card. Okay, centuries ago, the same wizard that granted Billy Batson the powers of Shazam bestowed mystic powers upon a pure of heart youth in ancient Egypt. But when the boy tried to share his power with his dying uncle, the uncle stole it and became the legendary supervillain known as Black Adam. I don't particularly like that version of Black Adam's origin. Because then he's just kind of like, no, you're just a scumbag. You're not even an anti-hero at this point. And they always want to try to make him an anti-hero these days. And I figure him being played by The Rock in a major motion picture ain't going to do a lot to change that. But yeah, like you just gave him an irredeemable supervillain origin where he killed a child. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll cut all the little rubber bands that are holding him in place. And as much as I hate the rubber bands, I almost kind of miss them after having to deal with that Hasbro packaging with the just a bunch of paper crap. Now I've got like a whole bunch of paper I've got to throw away. I'm trying to do this in such a way where I don't mess up the figure. You know, Mcfarlane's weird because sometimes I'll get one of these where there's like one of these plastic rubber tabs, whatever you call them, that's holding a figure in at the midsection. But then I'll get one like this where it's just like every single limb and, you know, in multiple places. And, you know, then the torso and then the neck. And it's like, guys, you don't need to, like, put this much crap on here. Oh, open up those Star Wars figures. There wasn't a single plastic tab on them. I was so happy. Oh, he's got plastic tabs holding his lightning bolts in, too. Forgot about that. Still better than that paper crap Hasbro's doing, but damning with faint praise. Alright, so let's go ahead and get Black Adam out of the package. And his cape is back behind here, but I was able to get it out fairly easily. That cape is really nice. I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera at all, but there is actually like a fabric texture to it. And you see this a lot more with figures these days, I guess, where they can do the digital sculpting and everything, and it's a lot easier to put like a texture onto something. But it doesn't matter to me how easy it is or isn't. It just looks impressive. So these shoulder pieces, these shoulder armor pieces, they are a separate piece from this cape. I think they should be removable if one wanted to do so, but you'd have to actually cut them off. One thing that I do not like about this figure from what I've seen of him is for some reason they decided to give him gold trunks. And I'm usually like a guy who likes trunks on superheroes. Like to me, Superman just doesn't look as good without trunks. I'm sorry, he doesn't. It just throws his whole color balance out of whack. I don't care what color you make his belt. He needs to have those trunks. But Black Adam doesn't need the trunks. Why are you always trying to take the trunks off Superman and then you give trunks to Black Adam? That doesn't even make any sense. But, you know, since they're black, they should be, since pants are black, I mean, it should be fairly easy for me to paint the trunks so that they're black, and it'll look fine after that, I think. And I would say, well, maybe it's just because they wanted to have the belt be gold and they didn't want to fool with any of the painting, but you can see that there's like a black spot that is painted on there at the front, and indeed the back of the trunks are black. So they probably should have just painted the whole trunks black, and I think that would have looked a lot better. The wrists go all the way around. I can't tell if they're on a ball joint or not, but they probably are. But the bracers are so large they completely cover them up. Also, another weird choice they made here is that the joints at the ankles are black, as opposed to being gold to match the rest of the boots. I do think that this is a really cool Shazam type costume. I think this is really awesome. That's the main reason I bought the figure. I like a lot of the details to it. It's got a lot of the things that I liked about the movie design of Captain Marvel's costume, and the movie design of Black Adam's costume, and aspects that I actually enjoyed in the New 52 costumes, which, like I said, the Shazam costume is one of the few New 52 costumes I really liked. And that applies to all the members of the Marvel family and Black Adam himself. I did think that those costumes were pretty cool, and I very much enjoyed them. And this, to me, is like pretty much perfect as far as like a New 52 type of Shazam costume. Other than the trunks. I don't like the trunks, so I'm gonna paint those. But I had thought to myself as I was looking at it that it was such an impressive figure that I kind of want to buy another one of these and actually make a Captain Marvel out of it. Just paint the outfit red and give him a smiley, happy Billy Batson head. As opposed to, this head, which he's got the pointy ears and the widow's peak that a lot of people who are being critical about the Black Adam movie are saying The Rock should have had. But honestly, I don't want The Rock to wear a toupee. I think that would look kind of silly on him, and it's probably better just for him to have his natural bald head. And I don't really care about him having pointy ears, so I'm fine with the movie version of Black Adam. But at the same time, I'm glad I have this really cool comic book inspired version of Black Adam. I don't know if this is like an actual costume that he wore in the comics, or if it's based off of Lee Buscema's design, like if that's a thing that he just came up with himself. But it is really cool looking, and I like it an awful lot. So I think when I get the second one to make Captain Marvel, I'm probably gonna take these armor pieces off. I think they work really well on Black Adam, but I think they might be a step too far on Captain Marvel. I don't know what I'm going to do about the cape. I might wind up just kind of trimming it all across the bottom here to get rid of all the rips and holes and everything. Since most of those do seem to be like more towards like the bottom of the cape. And I don't mind Captain Marvel having a shorter cape. So, but that might make it a little too ridiculously short. But I guess we'll figure it out when I come to it. Maybe he can have a torn up cape. I don't know. I don't care. But the torn up cape is definitely more of a Black Adam thing than a Captain Marvel thing. So, but yeah, I had heard some people be critical that his torso is kind of on the short side, and I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but I definitely do feel like, in terms of proportions, like the torso could be a little longer and the legs could be a little shorter. But that's not a deal breaker for me. He still looks like very cool and very powerful and very menacing. So like I'd seen one other Black Adam figure from Mcfarlane before this one, and it was the one that was like that where you build like the Frost King or whatever. And honestly, like even though like I thought that Frost King figure was pretty cool, like I had the Green Lantern figure out of there, John Stewart, but as I was looking at the other ones, I just wasn't really too into any of those. And that Black Adam I thought looked kind of lousy. He looked like something that came more out of a video game than out of a comic book. This guy looks like he came out of a comic book, and that's more sort of what I prefer. So, or at least a better video game than that other Black Adam came out of. And like I have already bought the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock movie version of Black Adam. And that's one I probably would have been satisfied with. Like I said, I think that one's close enough to the comic book look that I could have probably, if this one didn't exist, just stuck with that one. But this one still just kept calling to me, and because something about this look, I just like it an awful lot. And at this point, they're going to put out a figure of Captain Marvel, Shazam. Apparently, it's already at some WalMarts, and some people have already gotten it. But I don't like that costume, the way they interpreted it there, as much as I like this one. So I think my plan is still to get a second one of these and make my Captain Marvel figure out of that. And I think that will look just completely badass. So, no, almost forgot the lightning bolts. Let's go ahead and put these lightning bolts on him and see how he looks with the lightning bolts. And you can see that they kind of make this sort of corkscrew thing, so it should just wrap all the way around his forearm like that. Maybe if I turn him around this way, it'll look more like it's coming out of his hand. Like so. But I suspect it'll look better on this arm, since that one's got that open hand, and I can kind of even fit it into the hand a little bit, so it looks like it's actually shooting out of his hand. So that's pretty cool. Doesn't that look awesome? This is blasting somebody with a lightning bolt. So yeah, this is a good figure. This was definitely worth picking up, especially since I was able to get like Amazon warehouse deals on it and get it for pretty cheap. So I would highly recommend it to anybody who's a fan of this character. And if you're just collecting the DC figures in general, this is a good one to have. It'll look great with your display. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Tell me what you think about Black Adam. At the time of this recording, the movie hasn't come out yet, and I'm hoping it'll be good. So let me know what you think about the movie, because it probably has already come out by this point. And, by the time I actually get this video posted, since I've got like a backlog of stuff to work through, I might push these Black Adam videos up a little bit, though, since it'll be a little more timely. People will be looking for stuff on Black Adam. Maybe they might come across my videos. I don't know. Maybe it might be something they're interested in. Who knows? And that's pretty much it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.